Polemic, we are here.
Okay.
Polemic Peoples, the people's space for debate. And I am joined with this is another episode of Lake It Takes, and I am joined with another original member of Polemic Peoples, Chaunacey.
Good times.
Chaunacey, how are you?
I'm doing good, Terrance. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Congratulations on bringing it back.
Yes.
Definitely.
Shout out to the Springfield Creative City Collective for the sponsorship. Shout out to the Mass Development for allowing us to create this dream that we've always had. I told the story on the last episode, but on this one, I'm gonna remind people that Polemic People started in 2018. I had a microphone and I had a lot of opinions, and I had friends with a lot of opinions, and I put out the word. I said, "Yo, who wants to talk about stuff?" I put it on Facebook, and and you, Aaron, and I think Alicia. I can't remember who were the first three on that first episode. But y'all pulled up Dickinson Street, and all we had was a microphone in the middle of the table, and we just talked. I believe the first time we called it the Red Cup session, and just alcohol was an excuse for us to just kind of vibe and loosen up and get into all sorts of topics and stuff. Because we post a lot of. I think we were in that era where we were at that age where we just had so much thoughts on the world and just society and humanity and politics and philosophy and pop culture, and we were posting like long posts, back when there was no character limit on a Facebook post, and or Twitter feed, and I just felt it was necessary for us to put that all on audio, and I've always wanted to do it in a visual platform. We're growing. Right now we're 2 mics. We're working on a third. We're working on a bigger venue. Working on getting the couch in here and and a little mini fridge or something. People get a little parched after an hour or so of doing this episode. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you found the time.
Thank you for having me.
Snowstorms have been stopping us and Mother Nature and whatnot. So I'm glad we were able to make this happen.
Everything's in due time. On our time,
Oh, most definitely. I agree. And something that here on the Lake It Takes, so I know we didn't have this on when we first started the Plum Peoples. I wanted to have this show particularly for all the hot takes that right? Things that I see on or that we see out there in the spaces, and not just online, but offline too. Conversations that seem to be circulating that give us a peek into what people are thinking and worried about, or happy about as well. Okay. Right?
I'm 39, and if I could give any advice, rest. Resting is a strategy. Resting, sleeping, relaxing, meditating, praying. Calm down. Hustle culture was probably one of the worst things that happened to my generation. Everybody relax. Calm down. Read a book. Drink some water. Go to sleep. I'm 39, and if I could give any advice, rest.
Now, the question I want to get into is, has hustle culture ruined us? But before we get into it, I believe it's important for us to know what exactly we mean by hustle culture. What do you think of when you hear the term hustle culture?
Okay, my first thought is the grind, the get into it. The nonstop hustle and bustle of just survival for the most part. And it confuses me a little bit because I feel like just being in a capitalistic society, how do you not hustle? I feel like it goes hand in hand. Although I do understand and respect what she's saying, so I guess hustle culture is just going to be the go, the constant go for survival.
Right. And I think an additional element to, because yes, we do live in a capitalist society. I can't think of a time in America where we ever valued rest, as much as we arguably should. But I do remember there being and still being this culture of, especially with the rise of social media, of these influencers and motivational speakers that are, that we're constantly trying to push people to work harder, work more, work, stop being lazy, get off the couch. Like, remember the old college, the old Everest commercials. Man, what you doing? You're sitting around, you're at home, you're in your mama's PJs. Get up, go do something with your life. Like that whole mentality. I remember when I think of hustle culture, I think about Kim Kardashian famously telling women to work harder. Like when she was asked about her success and her getting criticized for that. I think about Eric Thomas. And his main sentiment, but he was one of the most popular motivational speakers growing up, and his main thing was just about like stop being lazy, keep pushing, keep grinding. If you grew up in hip hop culture like we did, whether it was 50 Cent, whether it was Wayne, whether it was T.I., rappers love to brag about not sleeping and work, hustle, grind. Right. And if you sleep, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That whole mentality. Right. So I guess when I think of hustle culture, I think of like the excessive, like working so hard that working as hard as your body can push you to work. Until you reach your goal.
For sure. I think there's a lot of times too, people have to understand and have the discernment of what is for them, because just because this personal trainer or whatever have you is telling you to push, but is that for you? You have to remember your bubble and what works for your life, because there might be that person that needs to hear that to push. So ultimately, which I think probably like 80% of the problem with what we deal with is people not going back into self, retreating back to self. You know what I mean?
So now what would you say to someone who says what works for you in this current life? Because there's a quote out there that'll say, if you want a life that you've never had, you have to do things that you've never done.
Absolutely.
So if you continue to do the things that just make you comfortable, will you ever grow? Right.
You know what? I do understand that, and there's a lot of things that make sense, but at the same time too, I think sometimes even in what you're consistent in, or what could be your usual 9 to 5 routine or whatever have you, somebody could just walk into, let's say you're working at a store, somebody could just walk into that store one day and change your life. Right. You know what I mean? You had no idea what was gonna happen. You were in your regular day-to-day or whatever have you. So I do understand and I do respect that, but I think there's another side to that. It could be either way. So I think people should more so hone into just themselves. What's working for you? What do you need in this moment? And sitting in that. Don't necessarily alter yourself or push too hard in any direction. What flows for you? It's something that it's a major thing that people would have to realize, in my opinion.
So for the person, so we were to Bob. Let's go. No, Bob. It's Black History Month. Jamal.
Okay, Jamaur.
Right? We got Jamal. Jamal says that he wants to be a let's say he wants to be a real estate agent, right? Jamal wants to be a real estate agent. He doesn't have a license. He's never been to real estate school. Yep. This is something very brand new for him, right? He currently works out of Big Y and Dunkin' Donuts. What should he do differently about if we were to tell him, if you want to become a real estate agent, you got to go to school.
Right.
And then what if he tells you though, I'm not really comfortable with school. I don't really mess with school like that. What's your response?
Well, you gotta get around some real estate agents, my boy. See what they can do for you outside of school. Were you gonna be comfortable to fit in that if schooling is not your thing? But ultimately, you might have to tap into some schooling. That personally, that would be my response to him. But I absolutely understand what you're getting at with that. So something like that is like if you're setting a goal, then of course you're gonna have to adjust yourself to what that goal is. I think I took it more so as just the day in and day out of life. Like, so you're sitting on the couch, you're not doing nothing. It's like, well, maybe that's what that person needs at this moment. Maybe they need that reset, that retreat. You know what I mean? So I was more so saying it in a sense of doing what works for you in the time that it works for you. We don't have to be upset about what this person is pushing and they want to go because that's where they are right now. Right. You know what I mean? So we shouldn't have to take it so personal, like stop telling everybody to go. Maybe that person needs that. You know, that's all I meant by it. But for sure, Jamaur gotta move. Jamaur, it's go time. Right, for sure.
Yeah, and no, I'm thinking, hearing what you were saying makes me think about something you said before the podcast started about listening to your body, right? Because I think hustle culture discourages you to listening to your body. Like your body's been wrong this whole time. That's why you're in this situation. Don't listen to the body. Listen to me. Right. Get up. Go do something. Like, but not ignoring our bodies when it's telling us to rest. Absolutely. When it's telling us to slow down a bit. When it's telling us to, hey, instead of going here, maybe you should work out. Maybe you should exercise. Maybe you should go for a walk. Right. Take a break from the screen. Go for a walk for a second, and then come back. Go get some sunlight. Yeah. Go get a little touch some soil or something. Absolutely. I do agree that not listening to your body can be detrimental to you. Absolutely. I think what's hard for some people is deciding, and this is the question to you as well. How do you decide if when you're not doing enough or when you're doing too much? How do you find that? How do you determine that internal balance for yourself so you're not constantly sitting around saying, "Dang, should I be doing something right now? If I really want that goal, or dang, am I doing too much?" Like how do you determine that for yourself?
Personally, it's exactly what you said. If I'm sitting with myself and I'm like, am I not doing enough? Maybe I should be doing something. You know what I mean? I feel like we kind of get it within ourselves. We get those voices for a reason. Or am I doing too much right now? Maybe I need to take a step back. Maybe if I'm questioning it, it makes me think that I'm bringing that to the forefront because it's something that needs to be altered there, or something's not sitting right with my.
But how do you make sure that voice is your voice and not the voice of someone that you were listening to?
Personally, I'm an OG now. You know, so I feel like I'm locked in with myself. Okay. I know my shit.
Can't nobody tell her nothing.
Listen, and I've been hard-headed for years. I've been hard-headed for years. I was born that way. No. But I think it does take growth and just understanding what is for you. So I really don't know how to tell somebody or give someone on advice of what would work for them. I guess it just is what feels right to you. Like taking a deeper moment with yourself, like literally sitting in a dark room, silence, you know what I mean? And listen to you. You know, what feels right? What doesn't feel right? Are you questioning things because it doesn't feel right? But I don't think I have a direct answer. Yeah. I feel like I'm all over the place.
No, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. And I think feelings are important to take into consideration. I think, and I know there's a lot of people at home who, especially anybody who's not a millennial, will just be like baby boomers, Gen Xers. I know they'll roll their eyes like, oh, feelings. You know, like, oh my gosh.
You can't have those?
Man, no, you cannot. Not in a capitalist society. Right. Not when you gotta prepare for retirement. Right. Not when you got kids to feed. Not when you gotta prepare a home for mom. Like, no, there's no time for feelings. You gotta go to work them 20 years, get your 401k, get your life in order, get your life insurance up and all that, and do your due diligence as an adult, right to prepare for the worst. But I will argue that if there's something you're striving towards and the process is making you sad, perhaps the goal isn't what you really want. Ooh. Right? Like going back to Jamaur wants to be a real estate agent. If you want to be a real estate agent, you have to go through some sort of school, right? Like you have to go through some sort of, even if it's self-teaching, you have to go through some sort of educational journey. Absolutely. You're not going to pass that test just off the fly. And if you do, you're hurting yourself. If you do somehow, you're hurting yourself because you have to know this information in order to be good at what you do. So, for Jamaur, if he doesn't like he doesn't like learning. Because not going to school is you don't like learning. Like, if you don't like formal education, that's one thing. But if you don't like any type of education, you don't like any type of schooling, any type of learning, you are going to have a hard time at just about anything in life. So that's our basic human function, is to learn. That's how you stay from falling off bridges. Literally and metaphorically. And I think if you're not enjoying the process, I think that's a clear indicator that you're not gonna like it when you get there. Because see, you only like the idea of the end goal, but anybody who loves their job will tell you, you gotta love the process too.
You know what? Even with the process, sometimes people want others' process to look like theirs, or we feel like our process has to look like somebody else's that's done it before. And I think going to things with a clean slate can sometimes help with that scenario, that situation. I can't sit here and say I know all the background to real estate, but that's our example right now, right? But if there is another way, so perhaps if schooling is not Jamal's route, of course you're gonna have to learn something. So maybe it is just the formal in the classroom or whatever it might be. Then figure out your process to make it work for you. You know, I know personally speaking, I was always told, like, you have to choose one thing and stick to it. That's what you have to do. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm gonna do what I want when I feel like it. You know, I'm gonna enjoy my time here on this earth and everything. So I had to make the process work for me. It looks like nobody else's process, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. You know, so I guess it is, again, back to yourself. What does yourself say? Back in that dark room, did the dark, when you were in the dark room, did you hear it say, oh, you know what? Maybe I should start with open mics to figure out, for, you know what I mean? Whatever your process is. And I don't think we should hone in too much on anybody else's journey. You know, I feel like that is a big stress in society. You have to do this. It has to be this way. The journey's got to go like that. No, it doesn't.
And that's that's one of the other reasons why hustle culture has turned so many people off, because it's rooted in comparison. Right. Every time you hear somebody trying to get you to grind, work, no sleep, no days off, it's always in comparison to someone else. Like, 50 Cent doesn't sleep, you shouldn't sleep. Bill Gates didn't sleep, you shouldn't sleep. Like this person doesn't take any days off, you shouldn't take any days off.
I am not them. I like my sleep.
But people are like, well, I do want the life he has. I want the life she has. Maybe I shouldn't go to sleep. Maybe I should you know, follow, like, people love following, you know, whether it's Mark Wahlberg's workout routine, or Dwayne Johnson's workout routine, or you know, Steve Jobs told everybody what he does to stay productive, and they love sharing that, right? Like, it's always in comparison. But to your point, we got to start focusing on self, right? And reminding ourselves that we're on our own journey. I don't think it's nothing wrong with you taking advice from someone else who's done the thing that you're trying to do, and done it well. But at the end of the day, you do have to do what is right for you. Absolutely. You know, but in the midst of that, I do think I am an advocate of breaking bad habits. So if you have some habits that are comfortable for you, but they're bad habits and they're keeping you from your goal, for sure, you should break that part of you. You know, whether that's you laying in bed all day, being too, what's that term when you're sitting too long? Sedentary?
Teaching me right now.
It's when you're in a sitting state for too long. I'm gonna get it. But when you're it's gonna hit me. It's gonna hit me.
Sedated. Like, are you sedated?
It's gonna hit me. Not sedated. It's I think it's sanitary or something like that. But when you're just in a state of not moving, right, and you're not moving enough, you know, those type of bad habits that people get real comfortable with, and they stay in them because they take what you said a little too far, right? Like, they go, oh, you know, I'm just gonna do whatever makes me happy, and sometimes the things that make you happy are detrimental to you, and I think it's important to know what's detrimental and what's not.
And even that, because then it puts it on what timeline or whose timeline, you know. I'm not saying stay in the bed. let me start there. I'm not saying that at all, but maybe this particular person needs that. Maybe they need that moment of, and it goes back again here what she was saying, take a rest, breathe, so maybe that 3 weeks of that person that's just like, I'm just gonna take a shower and go to bed. Don't talk to me. Whatever their reset was worked for them because they needed that in that moment, and that's okay. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about straight sloth. You don't care for 5 years. You just never gave a damn. I mean, but it's okay to do what works for you. Back to the self again, and someone shouldn't be pushed out of it because they might need that time.
Yeah.
Don't take that as an excuse now, like you're saying, to just do nothing at all. But I think we should learn to be comfortable in the journey, in the transitions, and how they're going to look different for different people. And it's okay. Even just with life itself, I feel like we're put on this timeline, like how you're saying, take care of the kids, gotta go to school, you gotta this, you gotta that. We're put on this timeline that in actuality is not existent when I'm not promised tomorrow. So if I'm gonna compare myself to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right, and he's at whatever age, maybe he's in his 50s now, whatever have you, and he's doing this workout plan, and I want to do his workout plan. First of all, what's his blood type? Because what he eats and what I eat is gonna look different. What's his life look like? Can he just work out all day? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The comparison.
What's the genetic code? Okay. That too. Like some people are genetically designed to take on more than others when it comes to exercise.
Right. So what is this false timeline that we have? So a lot of things I'm just kind of like, I don't know, because maybe I am in La La Land just a bit, but I don't. Long story short, if you laid in the bed for 3 weeks, right, and I laid in the bed for 3 weeks, right, but you still get 10 more years of life, and I lose my life tomorrow, maybe I needed that, or maybe if I would have pushed because of tomorrow, the concept of time is just not a real thing. So ultimately it's just getting back to what's working for you, because I think what you're supposed to be doing or how it flows for you is how it's supposed to be. Nice. I stand in that, You know what I mean?
Yes. Can I take your theory?
Point there.
Can I take the theory a little further?
Absolutely.
Because we are both in education.
Absolutely.
And before I segue to our conversation, as it pertains to education, because I am thinking about the kids in this situation, right? Because hustle culture was something that we had to deal with. I'm wondering now, how do we take what we learned from that at that time? When it comes to our kids, right? And I'm thinking more so like in the school setting, because we just advocated for doing what feels right when it comes to your body. Right. But as we know, in the school system, it's very orderly. You can't just do whatever you want when you're like if you're just feeling like not doing something, somebody's gonna come by you and be like, hey, come on, wake up, finish this, like, come on, you got 3 more questions on the test, come on, or hey, come on, it's time for independent practice time, or et cetera, come on, wake up, et cetera. Or even if you're not just feeling like doing work, you don't feel like writing. You could not be tired, you just don't feel like writing. It's like, hey, come on, push. I feel like there's a lot of that happening. The way you envision, let's just get crazy with imagination right now. If you were to envision a better school structure that incorporates that theory of learners, young learners, going at their own pace and doing and listening to their bodies more, and that being respected in the space. What does that look like?
Disclaimer. Originally, I was talking about the 30+ crew. I was talking about the aunties and uncles. Okay.
Break that down. Why is there why does that apply to us, the 30+ crew, but not the younger generations?
I guess because with responding to the original question, I was thinking about myself and where I am now, not so much how I was as a child. So I was more so claiming it for an audience that's around my age, or we've been through the trenches a little bit as far as the school system and such. With schooling, I guess that would be more so on a Montessori type of situation where you just kind of go at your own pace. It gets tricky there because we have to teach our children to appreciate timing, have things on a schedule, to conform to what our lives are now. So I feel like the problem in the amount of variables there are within that, we'd have to fix ourselves first and have our plan of action and motion before we can even say what we're going to do with the young people. Because how can I tell a child, like, hey, go at your own pace, when they're going to hit 18 and the society says, no, that's not what it is. So I wouldn't even know where to begin with the students until we had it together. As far as
school structure should reflect real world structure.
I don't like it. I don't really like
the way I worded that might have been. But you see what I'm saying, though?
I absolutely know what you're saying.
Like for example, we know that in the we know that in the, I don't want to say the real, I hate saying that term, the real world, but because I tell my students all the time, this world is real that you're in right now. Because if after high school is the real world, that means it's the fake world. It's not the fake world.
Absolutely not.
But post high school, adult life, we know that in our adult lives, there's not as many chances as there are in high school, at middle school, elementary. So it makes some teachers and school leaders rationalize that by saying, okay, well, we need to teach them early that you're not going to get all the chances in the world when you mess up. Like, if you mess up, there's consequences to you messing up, and that's based on context, but that there's a limit. Everybody has a limit of how much they'll let you mess up before there comes a consequence. Right. And then some schools take that too far. Some schools they use it just the right amount. So what I'm trying to get from you, I'm trying to understand, is you're saying that how we structure the school should be reflective of how we want them, of how, our society is. That's why you're saying the society should get fixed before we start to fix the school structure.
I don't know the answer to that question. I feel like where we are now in this moment, we can't, it'll be a challenge to tell these students, hey, relax, you need to take 3 months and lay in the bed, go for it. They're students or whatever have you. So because of where we are now with our society, then I can't really give them that information. That's what I'm saying. It's for the OGs, what I was saying. Just kind of have an understanding of their lives, or just can handle their worlds for now. As far as the school system itself, I'm not a fan. I don't think that. And this is me being biased to my personality. I appreciate hands-on situations. I appreciate different flows of energy. I want to move around. I want to go over there and learn that, then go over there and learn that. I don't really like the whole testing thing. That's my own biases. So I'm not a fan of the school system, or how it's structured for our city, I should say. So it gets tricky there. It gets tricky there. I'm not saying, I'm pro what's going on in there. No, absolutely not. I am not. But there would definitely be a clash with me telling the youth, day by day, hey, you need sleep, go for it. I don't want to say that,
I have seen a version of what you're describing. Not to the point where kids can do whatever they want, but I've seen, because you mentioned Montessori schools earlier. I've taught in Massachusetts, I've taught in Georgia, I've taught in overseas, and I've seen a lot of different school structures as far as charter schools, private schools, public schools, Montessori's. And I've seen schools where the kids do all their academics in 3 hours, and the rest of the day is learning life skills, hands-on home ec, financial literacy, so recess to develop social skills, and a bunch of other stuff, right? And vocational time as well. I've seen some schools where they have rest pods, where students can they have rest pods in the in-house space, in-house before, instead of us doing detention after school.
Yeah.
Because kids don't do detention after school anymore. They not staying. Yeah. Listen, they not. Them days are over. Not. Parents aren't making them stay. So now they got in-house, and where they do the detention in school. But some detentions look more like, you're meditating while you're in that space. There's rest pods where you can, rest up or whatever. There's spaces where you can go to take a mental health break and just kind of go for a walk in a room and then go back to class when you're ready. And they regulate that by like a schedule. Sometimes they regulate that with passes. They regulate it in different ways so that students don't just go, I don't want to do nothing. Let me get my mental health break. So I've seen it happen.
Did you notice less negative behaviors in those environments?
I have seen some. I have seen statistically, data wise. I'm a data guy. I have seen numbers wise. It positively affects academic performance and lower behavioral outbursts and just even chronic absenteeism. Like kids want to be here more because they're comfortable in this space.
Do you feel like that should be incorporated in our school system, this public school system?
If we have the right people administering it, I don't think it can just happen. I think you need the right people to lead something of that nature. It definitely takes the mental health professionals to step in to really advise the ones leading the school for it to happen. I definitely think it could happen. And there's actually a school here in when I was at the old William D. Berry, they had a SEBS program. I don't know if you're familiar with SEBS. SEBS is like for those not familiar with the Springfield area, SEBS is like a behavioral intervention team. They go from school to school, helping with discipline and managing the classroom so that teachers can do their job.
Right.
And I've seen them use certain practices like that, like giving kids a break when they need a break. But again, it was a regulation. They've been doing this for a long time. They have a way with the kids where the kids listen to them, as opposed to when the teacher said sit down, they listen when the other one said sit down. So yeah, it just depends on who's doing it. Depends on if it's structured right.
Right.
I think it's definitely possible, but I don't really see that happen. To be real with you, I don't see that happening in public school because they're not required to.
Right.
They're not in public school. Their goal is not to make the child feel better or feel comfortable. They're not worried about that. They're worried about productivity. They're worried like productivity over everything.
Right.
Assessment scores over everything. What they don't realize is that a student's comfort in the school is directly linked to those numbers that they want to go up so bad.
Absolutely.
You want MCAS scores to go up. You want attendance to go up. You want enrollment to go up. You gotta make them want to be. You gotta make school a place that feels safe.
Absolutely.
Right. It's what's his name? Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right. If a kid's worrying about food, shelter, safety, they can't focus in this environment.
Right.
If they don't feel comfortable coming into this space, that's not to say coddle them, right? But before we get, I thought everybody get on topic.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes. Please.
I'd like to know, do you think education is valued in the Black and brown community?
Great segue. Do I think that? No. I do not. As a collective, across the country, I do not think Black and brown. I don't think education is as valued in Black and brown communities in comparison to non-Black and brown households. And I've done the research. I have not yet found data to prove this, that Black and brown communities are less invested in education or care less about education. But I do look at absenteeism, for example, right? Like I've been teaching for about 10 to 11 years now. And I know when a kid doesn't come to school, it's either because they're sick, like genuinely sick. They have responsibilities outside of school,
right,
that require them to stay at home, or they just choose not to go. And there is a rise of parents right now that are like, oh, you don't want to go? Okay, stay home then. I'm about to go to work. And that's how that household's ran, right? Or you got the kids who skip school. But you have kids who are not going to school, and there's no push for them to go to school.
Yeah.
Like in my district, if a kid doesn't go to school, there's no, like, there used to be a time where somebody would come to your door and
truancy officers.
Yeah, like, hey.
You saying bring back truancy officers?
No. I'm just saying there was a protocol.
Yeah.
For when things like that happened, right? And I'm not saying it was the best method, but something happened. Like you can't just, your child just can't not go to school, and that just happens, right? And then when they don't go to school, their grades drop, they're not learning, they're behind on reading, they're behind on math, they fall behind. And because because kids aren't being kept back anymore, they get
kept back anymore?
They're not getting kept back. Oh. Wow. They get passed along. It don't matter how much you failed.
I thought that was
in 8th grade. You still getting pushed to 9th grade.
Really?
Yeah, but there's certain 9th grades certain high schools you won't get accepted into because of your poor grades. Like, Putnam is not seeing you if you were poor in academics and behavior. I forgot what I was saying. But yes, to answer your questions, I definitely want to hear your response. I know you had a vested interest in this question, and I want to hear more about that. My answer to the question initially is no, I do not believe that Black and Brown communities have value education more than the non-Black and Brown communities and households.
I do believe a lot of it stems from the system itself. When you're amongst, let's say as a student in high school, you're amongst adults that you've seen get their bachelor's, get their master's degrees, and they're gonna work at Target because they're trying to make ends meet. So where's the respect in that? I also think that as the millennials who have these children, they probably seen the school system fail for themselves, or don't see much positivity or having a better lifestyle with the education, so they don't respect it as much.
A little bit. Yeah. No, like shift it.
Let's shift this here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to make sure it's getting you, not just the shoulder.
Yeah. So basically, with the adults or the parents or the guardians in the situations, they probably don't value the schooling because maybe they did everything the right way. Society told them it was this right way, and they're still in the struggle, or they don't see the beauty that they said was going to happen. Oh, I went to school, I got good grades, I went to college, I can barely afford a house, I can barely afford my mortgage, or I can barely afford this apartment, I could barely afford food, and I did everything right. So now, should I give a damn if my kid goes to that place? I'm not fighting with him. You know why? Because I'm tired. I'm trying to make ends meet. He don't want to go to school. That's his business. I'm tired too, but I'm going to go doing this little job here, but come back, deal with his madness. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's so many variables that come into play, but ultimately it might be a chain reaction to parents, guardians, or what they've been through for the most part, and then to the students as well. Why value something that you don't consider valuable? What is this for? What is this going to do for me? Especially when I can turn on some form of entertainment and see this person that was a millionaire, that is a millionaire, and got it not out the mud. They just happened to go viral one day. You know what I mean? Like there isn't any more, or I shouldn't say anymore, but a lot of people, I think, in the quote quote urban environment, we don't see the people that got out and made the good money off of going to school. you know, so they probably just don't see a value in that. I do think there are and there aren't individuals in our community that do and do not value schooling, but I think that happens in lots of different cultures. You know, it just might look different or whatever have you, but it's just who the person is. I don't, there's, I feel like the Black and brown community, there's people always with eyes on us. I understand it's the greatness. You know, I understand it's the greatness. You want to watch what we do. But we're always picked at. You're not doing something right. You're doing something too right. You're doing something wrong. You're doing this, that, and the third, or whatever have you. And it's frustrating for sure. You know, let's not go. If we're going to try to pick apart these students for their choices, let's look at the bigger picture. Let's look at the bigger culture or the systematic energy that's created this. You know what I mean? Before we point fingers at these students or these parents, right. You know, that there is a bigger problem.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. And I definitely don't want it to come off like that. I was pointing fingers.
No. I was saying you.
Because this is very layered. And I agree with every factor that you brought up. I agree with every, especially the factor of it being on our perspective. You know, just on that we grew up with. It doesn't make sense for me to try to force him to go to school. Like, because I know what that math class is going to be like. It wasn't that long ago. I was in that math class. Or I assume, because, you know, I think a lot of this is also, you know, I want to make it, I'm a strong advocate of parents holding public schools accountable. You know, I think one of the most things that frustrate me as an educator is how disengaged parents are with schools. And I understand there's a myriad of reasons why. Yeah. I understand it's economic reasons. I understand it's also discouraging reasons because of their experiences with school. But at the end of the day, I pay taxes for this. Like, and I don't know how you are with, you know, the things you pay money for, but I expect quality.
Talk about it. Okay.
I expect quality out of the things I put my money into. So I would like parents to start acting as if they pay for this, because they do. You know, their hard-earned money goes into the public school system. Therefore, they should be demanding the best out of the public school system.
And for me, it's not even the pay for over my child. This is me. This is me in my extra soul that's outside of myself coming to you. I'm gonna need the greatest for my little one. You know, so I get it. It's unfortunate for sure. Who has the time? That'll be the first thing a lot of people will say. I don't have time for that. But you have to ultimately care about your lineage on a different level. You know what I mean? To push for that, because if it comes to your check looking different, because if PTA meetings, if you got paid to go to the PTA meeting, people showing up. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? So in a sense, it's like what you're saying. Your taxes are going towards this. It's such a touchy situation.
But if you're, and just to expand on what I mean by parents getting more involved, it's not just showing up when they act up, right? If you want to know what your kid is learning, you have the right, and it's a teacher's job to inform you if you ask. Absolutely. Hey, what are they learning right now? What are they learning right now, and how are they doing? Most times you don't even have to ask that question. You can go online and look at what their grades are. You can look at what their, if you have a and if you're looking at someone's grades and you're noticing that they haven't updated it in the past couple of weeks, call them. Call up the school. Hey, why hasn't this teacher been updating my I want to see how my kid's been doing in the class. It's been like 2-3 weeks. I don't, like, has he just not been doing any assignments? Or he's not been turning them in? Like, what's up? What's going on? I want to see what he's learning. And this isn't giving me a clear enough picture. Right? Because I do see those parents tapping in. And it also looks like you know, you when finding the time to read with them at home, you know, to encourage them to read on their own at home, encourage them to to do something education, something that's going to teach them something new, you know, and as it pertains to their interests. They're interested in gaming. Okay, cool. Do you know how to make a game? If you could, why don't you just look it up? We're in the era of unlimited access to information. Just do it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like not getting them too comfortable with the same routines every single day. So yeah, I think I think the whole valuing education thing, I think a big part of it is definitely everything that we've mentioned, whether it being the parent view on education. I think there hasn't been much of a push for kids to be here anymore because of, and that's mainly because of parent complaints, you know, like because there used to be more strict regulations on kids being in school. You know, parents used to get arrested if their kid wasn't going to go into school. And I'm not saying necessarily that was the best option. But I am advocating for us to have something to where, you know, that if this household won't value education, we need to do our jobs as the leader. Because as an educator, how exactly do you handle those particular students that you see that they don't value education, whether they're black, brown, or white? You see that they don't value education. They don't care about what's going on here. They don't care about social studies, math, English, or science. They hate coming here. They dread the day the moment they walk through the doors. How do you get that kid to value this experience? Like, what exactly do you tell them?
I tell them adulting is ghetto. Literally, just like that. Like, listen, this is the last bit of fun you're gonna have before you become an adult. This is cool. Everything you do once you leave this building, after you get them papers, you're gonna have to pay for it. Okay, you want to go somewhere? I'm keeping it real with them, you know, off the top, because I think it's necessary. Because right now, you know, all they know is their little world. I don't like this. I don't want to do this, and I understand it. I was like that too when I was in school. Like, this is stupid, but I need someone to shake me. Like, listen, you're in this for a moment. Hold on, just hold on, you know. So that's what I literally tell them. Like, you're not going anywhere. You can't just go to a paint class after this, you know. You're not gonna just, one of the botany teachers, she had them making lotions with plants and some. You're not getting this, and if you want to get that, it's gonna cost you about $40 for activity for the day. You know what I mean? Like, appreciate this. You're with different people. You get to be with your friends. You're learning yourself, just all these activities. Just, this is the last before you're an adult, because I'm in high school, you know. So this is it. Enjoy this ride. Enjoy it. And if anything, get that paper. Because if you're not going to get the paper now, you're going to go get your GED. People are saying, actually, now, I wouldn't know, but people are saying now it's actually more challenging to get your GED than it was before. I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Don't quote me on that one. But it's like, why wouldn't you want to enjoy this? Enjoy it while you're here. Why not? If not anything, let me see that paper at the end of the year. So I get that feedback now from students like, Miss, I hate this class, but I'm gonna show you that paper at the end of the year. This is what I want to hear. And so I'm gonna always be direct, honest with these students. Like, when you're going in here, I don't give a damn about Benjamin Franklin either. Okay, I don't care about Benjamin Franklin. But guess what? When something happens and they're like, well, you know, because back with Benjamin Franklin, I remember my teacher said, you know what I mean?
You're an interesting person.
Absolutely.
Just to know these random facts.
Yes, absolutely. You never know where you're going to use it. Who cares? You know it now. But meanwhile, you're taking in so much information from TikTok. You just loads of information. Why not get it in this setting? I'm personally, those are great days. The person in the back of the classroom that's throwing random papers, you know what I mean? The jokester over there, Sally that cries every day. You kind of, that's a big part of our life, you know, and you kind of miss it when you're an adult. So I just try to remind them, like, I miss that. You might too. Just enjoy the ride. Show me that paper at the end of the year, because adulting's ghetto. Literally, that's my response.
No, for real. And it's damn near unforgiving. Like, you're in a period of your life where you are extended so much grace.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're in the perfect place for mistakes.
For sure.
I tell my kids that all the time. Like, you're in the perfect place for mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not my message to just go around and start messing up.
Yeah.
You know, or just doing whatever you want. What I mean is, there's gonna be no time in your life ever where you get to just try stuff.
Yeah,
try
absolutely.
stuff,
Right.
experiment.
Right.
You know, like you don't know if you're gonna like it or not. Try it out.
Exactly.
What do you have to lose?
Exactly.
Try it out and make the best of it. I want to kill this narrative that everything that's taught in school is crap. It's not going to help you out. Every classroom is not like that. Yeah. There are definitely some educators out here that are really putting some substance in the ears of these kids. For sure. And they're giving them something that not only help them out with their life, but even with their current situation, right? It's helping them prepare them for the next grade. It's helping them to prepare them to create things, to be of service to their community, to chase the dreams that they want. They're getting real substance in some of these classes, but the ones that you're not, make the best of it. Yeah. You know, I remember when I was in high school, there was several classes I did not like, because it was just worksheet after worksheet, or the teacher was boring and not interesting, or I just, really struggled with math or whatever. I made the best of that time just by doing clubs, organizations. I tried my best to kind of just learn stuff that I've always been curious about. Like, I hate science, because I hate the stuff we're learning in there. But I've always been curious, how big is the ocean and why is it so big? I'll just use that time to go through the textbook and look up stuff that I've always been curious about. Yeah. There's different ways you can make up your time to make it useful for you. School doesn't have to just be this voided space that is getting in the way between you and your cell phone. Like, I just want to get these hours over so I can just get to my TikTok and scroll for hours. Because that's such a miserable way to live your life.
Yeah, for sure. Even with that though, there is variables, because we have the educators that don't care. I wouldn't want to be in their room either. I'm going to be quite frank with you. They kind of don't care. The politics behind the schooling, the testing behind school, there's so many variables. So I do at the same time understand the point of view of these students,
And I advocate for them to speak up too. I mean, you don't pay taxes, but this is like
some of them do. Some of them pay taxes. Well,
some of them do.
In high school,
some
right.
of them do.
Yeah.
But regardless of you paying taxes, you're the student. We're here to serve you. Yeah. If you don't feel like your classroom is providing you the experience that you were hoping for, that you're not learning, you're not engaged, say something in the most respectful way possible. Say something to the teacher. If that's not working, say something there's always someone above the teacher. Yeah. Say something to the administrator.
A lot of times that don't even work out well.
Say something to the principal. That may and it's like somebody's going to hear you. Yeah. I believe that. I believe in any school setting, somebody is going to hear you eventually, and they're going to talk to that teacher. And there's going to be a conversation on how can we, because engaging you is part of the job. Yeah. Not entertaining you. I want to make that very clear. We're not circus clowns. Right. I'm not here to do dances for you all day and play movies whenever you want. Yeah. But engaging you is the job. I can work better on that. Thanks for the feedback. Right? Every teacher won't respond that way, but I still advocate for students to speak up. You feel like you're not getting, and that's for all students everywhere. If you feel like you're not getting the most out of your educational experience, they're there for you. Say something.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And we're going to name the segue. This is my segue. Okay. Polemic People Podcast is funded by Mack Development, TDI, and the Bar Foundation through the Springfield Creative City Collective. This program is one component of a broader TDI Creative Cities initiative to boost arts-based economic development. The Springfield Creative City Collective is a coalition of artists, organizers, and economic development leaders working to transform and revitalize Springfield's creative and cultural economy right here at my home. They're building real pathways for creatives, entrepreneurs, and communities to thrive right here in Springfield, Massachusetts. If you believe in art, culture, and community are engines for change, this is your people. Learn more and get involved at fccc413.com. Big love to the Springfield Creative City Collective, and Mass Development for supporting this podcast. Polemic. We are going to need students to value education more because something else you mentioned before the podcast that have been concerning you was AI and how developed it's becoming and how scary this development is because of how accurate it is. Can you speak a little more on that? What exactly did you see or have you heard that has had that in your head recently?
Yeah, for sure. I guess it's more so what is reality anymore. So if an actual UFO happens to be hovering over us right now, and we're saying to the masses, help us, people are like, oh, that's just AI. You know, we've blurred the lines of what's real and what's fake. I think that is the hard part, the scary part of what's going on right now. The ability to place someone somewhere that they're not. You know, the fact that everyone's not a angel, you know, so we can't expect only positive things to come from this is extremely worrisome. I don't know what the world is going to look like in a couple of years with AI being so extreme. There are beauties in it, don't get me wrong. As a creative, a lot of times I feel disrespected. I'm not gonna lie. You know,
Tell them why you
I'm
mad.
not gonna lie. I feel because after I done took all these hours, okay, no. You know, first and foremost, I'm an autodidact, right? So I've taught myself everything. Most of the things that I've taught myself. You know, most of the things that I do are create. So for me to have spent all this time to master my skill, right? And someone can now just what typing a couple letters, you know, instantly have, we'll say, images for now. We'll just use that as an example. Someone could just type in some letters in this beautiful canvas painted, you know, Dalai Lama, colorful, with lots of value and shading pops up on their screen. But it took me 10 hours to paint this. You know what I mean? And so now I feel a type of way. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it's like, what is creative anymore? What is creative when I can just speak something and it's created for me, versus taking back your God complex and making it yourself, you know, the mess ups, the oh, look what just evolved from myself, you know. So that part is a little triggering, but at the same time, I do respect technology. You know, I do respect it being used in certain situations for sure. So I guess I'm always on the fence with a lot of things. You know, I stay in a gray area because I'm extremely logical. So I don't want to say this is terrible, stop it now, because there's some good things behind it. But for the creative side of me, I don't like it. Who's who anymore? Yeah. You know, who's who anymore?
And I'm thinking,
say over there.
I'm thinking you got a point.
I got it, like.
Go ahead, brother. Speak your mind. JJ, our producer, got some thoughts.
Hey, JJ.
Yes. Jamaur Brown has entered the Lake of Takes.
Okay.
And I got a couple things to say. You know, again, you know, one thing that people don't I could say is that it takes a lot of people, a lot of smart and, you know, talented people in their own right to make the AI in the first place, and that's something I could like respect. And if you're using AI as a tool in general to like help you, like a lot of artists end up making AI art just for like references so they can make a art of their own. It's just like, it's like, especially now, it's just scary because I spent a lot of hours and a lot of days, a lot of months, a lot of years just practicing art to the point that I'm at, and I appreciate that. Then I could but now it's just like I could type a prompt in, and it's just going to make something better than I've made in like my whole life.
Yeah.
And that's just like the part that just scares me about because, like, you know, I get really happy when people actually ask me, oh, can you make me some art and stuff? And I get really happy about that. But then eventually I know in probably a couple of years or so, somebody's not going to be asking me that me for art, they're going to ask somebody. Not, I'm stuttering a little bit, but for the art, they're just going to ask AI to make it for them. And people are focusing mainly on like real life footage and art and stuff, but also same thing goes for like music, because a lot of people been making AI songs, and I'm not like the best singer, but I can sing a little bit, But then when I type in a song with the lyrics I made, and that AI makes a song that sounds like Beyonce level of singing, I'm just like, dude, what's the point of me practicing my skills if an AI is out here just going to just replace me?
Yeah.
And one thing that really signified that about specifically music is Timbaland, like he's a major producer. He ends up signing an AI artist, and I'm like, dude, that's just like,
can you sign
like
he created one.
Like you out here producing,
right?
He was out here producing.
She ain't got no signature.
He was out here producing for Kanye, Drake, and all them, and now he's signing somebody that's like a computer.
Have you seen her? She's like an Asian.
Yeah, I did.
Just like rapper, right? Like she's rapping and she's Asian.
Would consider her a rapper?
She's doing bars. Like
yeah. Okay.
She does bars and like pop hooks.
Yeah, so overall, it was cool. It was cool the first couple of years of AI usage because it was laughably bad, honestly. I'm not lying. But now I'm just like, you might have to slow down a bit because it's getting to a point where I'm like, we gotta chill. Like
there's actually an artist, an African American woman. She's getting to it. Let me just say that. Get into it, and she blatantly said like, "Hey, yep, I use AI. This is full on AI. It's not my music, and I stand behind it." And she's doing what she has to do is in the industry. I guess in her lane, I knew there's a lot of artists that do feel some type of way about it, as they should. But yeah, it's like you said, it's scary and it's triggering. For sure. For sure.
To be clear on what we're speaking on, most recently, one of the latest breakthroughs in AI video generation has been C Dance 2.0. This came out of China. And then for those who haven't been paying attention, the U.S. and China and other countries have kind of been doing like an AI race, like who can develop the best. Like we all know that artificial intelligence is getting better and better at like fooling us,
right?
Into what can be real or not, and it's developing really fast. They've been having this back and forth race, kind of like the same race that when we were trying to get to the moon. Right now, the race is who can create the most realistic AI generator, video and images and music first. And this one came out of China, and it has been dropping text, images, and video that has been spot on, hyper realistic deep fakes of celebrities, prompting warnings and legal pushback. It's been prompting warnings and legal pushback from major studios. I saw some video that showed I've seen somebody redo the season finale of Stranger Things. If it didn't say AI in the caption, I probably would have thought it was real. I saw someone do a video of Drake and Kendrick on Jimmy Fallon, and they were like, Kendrick was like, I was just playing with you, bro. And it sounds like Kendrick. It looks exactly like Kendrick, and Drake's smiling like, oh man, it's nothing, boy. Like just doing his whole thing. It's definitely. I share the same concerns that both of you have, but can I propose a theory? Right, because I study humanity a lot, and like humanity over history, and I believe in humanity's connection to art. I think time and time again, authenticity always wins. The fake always has its moment. That was the whole argument when auto-tune came into the conversation. I remember this conversation when autotune came in, and everybody was arguing autotune isn't real art. That's not real singers. Like, you know, they're cheapening the music.
Yeah.
Jay-Z did a whole like diss record to autotune. I remember like that was a thing. Eventually we got over it and we accepted it into the music space to the point where most artists on your mainstream radio are using autotune.
Yeah.
I see that being the thing with AI. I see real artists using AI for their songs. I see AI taking over charts. I see AI taking over even awards. That's going to be a conversation at some point. I see them having their own award show. But what I do see eventually is it's going to get oversaturated, because that's just what we do as humans. Like we get a new toy, we overplay it until eventually we get bored with it. We always get bored with some toy. And when we get bored with it, what's going to be valued more is real artistry. For example, visual artists, because you're a visual artist, right? Yes, right now I can go on ChatGPT and I can say, create an oil painting of a Black woman getting out of bed. Because I just want the aesthetic. And I can go on canvawall.com, put that image on Canva on a canvas, have that canvas sent to me. Now I got my own canvas, art created by me, created by my own prompt, up on my wall, and that's the aesthetic I wanted from my household, right? That's going to get old, right? It's going to turn into a conversation of people gonna come over your house and be like, who created that? Right? And
AI?
Oh, you still doing that? You still doing that? Please, my if you walk in my house, my whole living room is Chaunacey. You know, you ain't heard of her? You ain't heard of Alicia Wall? You heard of Picasso? Picasso? Who's Picasso? Let me educate you, young man. Right? Like, and because that's what happens to art. Art goes up in value when it's been missed. And I think real art needs to be missed. And I think this is the way to do it. I think there's gonna be a dark age.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's gonna last for. But what I'm saying is when it's over, real artistry will be appreciated again. Like, I'm telling all my artist friends, don't throw away your stuff. Keep your shit. Don't throw away your original music. Don't throw away your art, your visual canvases. Don't throw away your that short film you did back when you were in high school. Keep all of it somewhere, because at some point it will be of value again, because people eventually will come back to and honestly, I think we needed something like this. For a long time, people have not appreciated art as much as they used to, and I mean on all mediums, right? People haven't been we don't even care anymore that there used to be a certain bar of talent you had to have to even get on the radio. Now we're just letting anybody who can just do anything in Fruity Loops. Is it Fruity Loops or Fruit Loops? Am I adding the E? Was that me?
Yeah, I think it's Fruit Loops.
Oh, I said Fruity. My bad. I didn't mean to add the Y. I thought it was Fruity Loops. My bad. But anything that you just do on those software, and just if it's repetitive and it's catchy, then it goes on the radio. There used to be a certain bar of talent you had to hit to have your artwork in museums, right? Or for your art to be to be valued. Now people don't buy paintings like they used to. Buying art is how billionaires used to show off their wealth. So yeah, I think we're in need of a reappreciation for the arts, and maybe all this fake crap is necessary. I think we need to miss it for a little bit. The same way a Trump administration brings us closer together, because we we're reminded that we're in a white supremacist country whenever he's in office. But whenever he's not and it's a Democrat in office, things get a little but as soon as he's in office, hey, let's mobilize. Let's bring the Black Panthers back. Let's do it, right? I'm thinking the same way as far as art. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna say I would hope so. I absolutely don't know, but I can say that I feel just as much as the AI has to push the laws with the AI. You know, to put set
What
some,
would you see
set
those
them.
laws look like?
Um,
What would that look like, policies wise?
Now I have never been a politician, and I don't even like politics. But you know, necessary for sure. But I would say the likeness of someone, taking someone's likeness, can't do it. You know, or without some kind of contractual agreement, the ability to place people somewhere that they're not. There's definitely should be some boundaries to that. The and the discernment, we were speaking on this before, the discernment of what is being posted on these videos, and doing the due diligence to get the education behind what you're posting on these videos. Someone shouldn't be able to be like, there's a bomb scare here, you know, got the whole video going, and people are really thinking that this happened or whatever because they thought it happened because they didn't do the research to find out that it actually was just the building was on fire. You know what I mean? Basically, ushering in these laws alongside AI is something that can happen way before I see society just walking away from it, or you know, like, hey, we're gonna appreciate again. I do hope that that's what happens in the long run. Please get back to the natural and the normal.
Just to interject real quick, I want hard punishment for anybody who creates content that incites violence or harm of any sort. Like if you're showing out, like if you're creating like if somebody creates a video of a building getting blown up, right, and then it starts to circulate, and then it makes people feel like, oh, that my mom lives in that apartment building, and then they start feeling like it actually happened and it caused grief and pain to that person. With that, lock him up, like your butt. Like I want very strict punishments for those particular actions, and especially for those who are stealing other people's likeness. And quite frankly, I don't see a way around that, because all video generations is using someone's likeness. Even if you tell AI right now, create an image or a video of two men fighting in front of Popeyes, the image of the man they're going to create, there's some sort of likeness from a man online that they've stolen to create that character. Nothing's new under the sun. That character that they created is imitation of someone online, right? They're using digital footprint imagery to make all these characters. That's what a language model is, right? So I think if you ban people using their likeness, there's gonna be no generation at all. And then we're only gonna be stuck with text generation, which I'm fine with. You know, I'm cool if they just limit it to text generation. But even then, you know, because a lot of text generation steals styles from actual human writers. So I think JJ said it needs to slow down. It's definitely not slowing down. I think we need to all be in agreement on that.
Right.
The capitalism won't allow for the AI advancement to slow down. But what I think is important for us to do is prepare. And prepare by smartening up. You know, have conversations with your kids about how to determine real from fake, because they're going to see it at some point. They're going to see AI videos that are presented as real. People are going to they're going to make a game out of it. They're going to try to fool you and fool whoever is in front of the screen. And you know, we got to teach real literacy to these kids, because it's not just about seeing whether a video is fake or not. They're also going to have fake headlines. They're going to have fake deep fakes of people doing things that they're really not doing. You have to have the discernment of knowing how to research. You know, shout out to Leslie Braxton out here in Springfield. He just did a video online the other day about how people just keep sharing news sources, news articles without fully reading the article. Like they're not checking their sources. They're just seeing a headline and they're running with it, right? Like they're just so quick to run with headlines and they don't open up nothing to read, to verify. And I think that same thinking is what scares me and scares everybody in this room. Yeah. Because those are the people that it's easiest to fool when it comes to these new developments. Yeah.
Scary time. Never in my days when I was a kid. I mean, we used to see like the Jetsons, you know, and I remember reading Fahrenheit 451 and all these things about the future. So to now actually sit in it, is crazy. But at the same time too, I'm in a weird way, I'm comfortable in it in a sense, because it's kind of like, like it wasn't like, oh my gosh, did you see this AI thing? I guess because I think the millennial we're kind of old school, but comfortable with the newer generation stuff. You know, we're kind of right there in a good space or whatever have you. So I wasn't so much shocked by it. It's just what could this become? That's a little worrisome. I guess he's got to write it out, right?
Yeah. See write it out and just be smart about it. You know, just continue to be smart about it. And, you know, constantly educating ourselves and staying aware. You know, because you can't really be fooled by fake AI videos if you know what's going on out here. You know, somebody can't just show you a video of Obama getting shot if you know how to look. Like when somebody, you know how every once in a year or something, somebody's lying about a celebrity who dies. Like such and such died today.
Where did that stem from? That's what I mean.
Loneliness.
Even those, like, we got to put some kind of regulations on this stuff. It's crazy. You just pick random celebrity. You know, today I think Michael Jackson should die.
Or Loretta Devine, or like they died today. And then people, because they do that because they know the average person is going to see that, bug out, share it before even checking. Right? If you find out tomorrow that, and I don't even want to put this on her, but Beyonce died. How are you verified? What's your verification process?
I'll probably go to her Instagram. I wouldn't even know. Just kind of wait it out. Like, no. Probably just wait it out. TMZ. I think when I see something on TMZ, I'm like, okay, you know, for sure. So I'll probably just wait on TMZ, or maybe can we trust the news? I don't even trust the news. I don't.
This is Beyonce, so I'm willing to bet everywhere. If Beyonce died, I should be able to go to Google, type in Beyonce died, and I'll see like there's usually 4 or 5 headlines, right, that from different sources, saying that she died, right?
Or but would that be scrubbed off the internet? Because we talking a different ballgame of money when certain things happen. We don't see it. Right. You know what I mean?
You might not know about it until they want you to know.
Right.
Right. And so, you know, until they want us to know, then I'll just assume it's a rumor until it's confirmed.
Yeah.
Right? Sure. But the point is, I won't go around telling people, hey, y'all, Beyonce died. You know how much Beyonce means to a lot of these people? Like, causing all these heart attacks for no reason.
Right. My soul.
Man.
Don't do that to me.
And you know what? The reason why they do this, and this brings us to our 4th and final take. The reason why people do, you know, such a sad act of faking people's deaths. We are in an era where attention equals currency, right? Like as long as you get enough views on you, you get paid for it. You can get sponsorships, you can get endorsements, you can get, you know, money off the ads. You can, you know, use that viewership to lead to other things, get them to follow you in other places. Attention is currency, right? Something happened on Valentine's Day. Did you have a good V-Day?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
Shout out to bro. Shout out to bro. On Valentine's Day, Ray J had a performance, and on stage, it seemed like he had a heart monitor attached to himself, and he was bleeding from his eyes. And for those that are not aware, he recently told everybody that he's been dealing with medical issues. He's told fans that he is dying. He's used that term, I'm dying, or that I have liver failure issues. And I'm gonna show you the video.
Yeah.
Look at this nigga is sick.
That would have me down a rabbit hole, because now I need to know what will cause the eyes to bleed. Is it normal for the eyes
but
to
see,
bleed?
that's what he wants.
What in the world is
That's what he wants. Ray J said, and I'm gonna clip it up right here. I will never forget when he went on Breakfast Club and he said, Charlamagne said something along the lines of, Ray J, you always trolling.
Right.
You're the boy who cried wolf. Nobody could tell when you're playing or when you're not playing.
Exactly.
He said, I started trolling because y'all weren't sharing when I was, donating $300,000 to the Boys and Girls Club. Y'all weren't sharing me when I was dropping a new album. So I started giving you what you want. I give the people what they want. Which tells me that he's all about shock value now. Right? Whether he's arguing with his baby moms on stream, or he's showing up with some new girl on another stream and arguing with her, or he's saying wild stuff about Brandy and Monica, or he's alluding that he slept with Sexy Red, or just every time he opens his mouth or does something, it's shock value. And then later he'll apologize for it. Like, my bad, Sexy Red. I was just messing around, and I see a lot of people pacifying the behavior as like, oh, that's just crazy Ray. Like, they give him the uncle treatment. Like, that's just Uncle Ray.
Yeah.
You know how Uncle Ray be.
Not the uncle treatment.
Right? They give him the uncle treatment. Like, like they give him that pass. Right? As far as because that they just like he's a troller, so etc. But the problem is, when it comes to your health, like, you have real fans,
right,
that are affected by hearing that you're dying, like or that you have severe health issues. When it comes to attention equals currency, would this be considered going too far? Because now I'm at a point where I don't even know if that was real blood. I don't know if he actually had a heart monitor on stage. Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me that his team would allow him to perform if he was really on his... Like, everybody was commenting like, yo, if he has blood coming from his eyes, he's on his last limb. Yeah. Like, if he really has blood coming from his eyes, he's on he should be on his deathbed. Yeah. It doesn't even make sense that he would be in concert right now performing in this condition. And who on his team would just allow him to do that? What promoter would allow him to come on stage with this large, heart monitor thing on him, etc. And I understand that he's getting his bread and butter, but yeah, is this going too far?
Yeah, I feel like we live in a time where we're in a time where everything goes too far. It's normal to go too far now. Where are the boundaries? People aren't.
It's normal to go too far.
It's normal to go too far. But bring back shame. Seriously, people
bring back shame. Yo, have you seen Big Mouth?
No, I haven't.
Big Mouth on Netflix. There's a shame wizard.
Okay.
In the show, and he shows up whenever the kids do something shameful, and it keeps them from like doing ridiculous things. Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Does he say that bring back shame? Is that from him?
Yeah.
Okay,
like
now I gotta see this.
Yeah, he did the whole number. He did the whole musical number. Yeah.
Seriously, so I don't even know what's taking it too far anymore. As far as him and why he would be on the stage, there is definitely that the perception of, listen, you should be somewhere kind of dying away from, the crowd. But the other side of me, or I would say maybe the more so artistic side of me, is, if these are my last days, let me rock out. I don't want to be in a bed, waiting for your pudding and jello and water and prayers, and I don't want to do that. Look, I'm on the stage. You know what? I might croak right here on this stage, but this is what I love to do with the energy from the audience. So I can understand that aspect too if he's taking that route.
So you're saying Ray J's one wish could be him on stage
like what you did
singing
there.
One
like
Wish.
What you did there, right? Absolutely. We never know. So perhaps, that could be the reason, or he could be trolling. You know, we do not know. As far as what was it? Equals currency.
Attention equals currency.
Equaling currency. I think that's normal. Again, in a capitalistic society, if McDonald's wants to make money, they're going to need lots of attention. You know, if I want to be an artist, then I need the attention on me to sell these records or to sell this art or whatever it might be. But at all, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with society. You're going to need that.
Internet has pumped it up
for sure.
Though,
yeah,
right. Like
for sure.
I mean, in 1920s, I can't imagine you being on the boardwalk. Dancing, doing
right. Yeah.
Like you're not gonna make a lot of dollars doing that, right? Like just because you're doing it for attention.
Yeah.
But the only attention you're gonna get is the people walking by, and maybe they'll give you something for your talent.
Yeah.
But now with the internet, you got millions of viewers that could see your talent, and they'll invest by giving you their eyes.
Yeah.
And you get enough eyes, you can monetize. You can make a case to these brands that you know they need to sign you on.
Absolutely.
So yes, you know what? Rethinking it, I agree with you that attention equals currency is not new, but it's been amplified with the internet.
Absolutely.
And social media.
And sometimes I'm just like, hey, get it how you live. You know, I'm not saying everything is cool to do or everything should get a pass, but if some things are how you're making your living, I get it. You know, you're trying to survive, you're not hurting anyone, moving with love first, then you know, but somebody's always push it to the limit. We wouldn't be human if there wasn't people that's gonna push it to the limit, you know. So if that's what Ray J's decided to do, then
as long as he's not hurting. See, I'm agreeing with you. As long as you're not hurting no one else or yourself. If you're not actually hurt, you know, and you know you're just trolling like you're hurt. Okay, cool, whatever. It's not your fault that we're so gullible.
Yeah. And
we're gonna tap in and you know do the whole get well Ray J stick that comes after that.
And do we really care that much? You know, do we really care, or is it just conversation pieces?
Like do we care about his health?
Yeah, or just the things we see. Is it just more so conversation, or just a moment of did you see this, did that, or do we really care?
There's some people who would hear about Ray J being hurt and then go be like, you know what? I used to rock with Ray J's music. Let me go online real quick and stream. Let me go on Apple Music and stream that album.
Yeah.
So like, just you being in the thought of someone can lead to consumption. Can lead to a boost in your streams, a boost in viewership of your content, which is direct dollars to you, right? So, I think people care to the sense that, I mean, do they care like they care? Not as many. I think most people just care mostly just to be nosy. I think we like to be nosy more than anything. Like I don't really care. I don't really care too much about his liver, but ooh, that's crazy that he would go at a Valentine's Day concert and perform with a heart monitor. That's crazy.
Right.
He's literally singing his heart out. That's
like literally.
That's wild.
Well, that was a bar. That was a bar.
It's just fun to me today. You know?
I get it though. I get it. I guess we can value different people maybe that we don't even really know. Because let me tell you, I was I was actually in the stadium in Houston when Beyonce's car was tilting. When I tell you, even in myself, I want to go catch this woman. I do not know this woman. You know what I mean?
Beyonce's car was tilting.
Yeah, so she was on the the cording that's attached to the stadium itself.
The
proper wording. Yes.
Concert.
Okay. Yeah, so she was in her little Cadillac. It wasn't a Cadillac. Suspended in the air, like floating. When I tell you this car was tilting, my heart was dropping. I felt like that was my auntie. I needed to go save her. And even to look down and see the crowd underneath her were literally coming together, ready to catch this woman. Like we care so much about these people that we actually don't know.
But wait, if you try to catch the woman, ain't you gonna try to catch the car too?
That's gonna be a thing, but the fact that
People
even that
prepare to
might,
catch the
even
car?
that they probably didn't even think that much. They just care that Beyonce might hit this floor, and we are here to do something about it. You know, so perhaps there are people that are losing their mind to see Ray J crying blood.
And
for sure.
you know, and and see, I love the humanness, the humanity in it all. Really, like I hate the whole boy who cried wolf thing that he's doing.
Yeah.
But on the other side of it, I love that there's so many people that no matter what care about him. And I hope that he's not taking it. I hope he's not taking that lightly. I hope that he's acknowledging and grateful and understanding of how many people care about him and love him and want to see him do better and be well, no matter what he does.
Right.
Like that undying fandom is precious. I've never experienced it, but I hope that he, is respectful with it.
Yeah.
Because because you're right. I could see a crowd of people coming together, locking arms to catch Beyonce falling from a Cadillac.
Right.
I could see that.
Right.
I could see that. Like somebody's like, oh, I got it. I got it.
Right.
I got it, man. Listen.
Right.
And they might just break the phone. I don't know scientifically how that works, but that's pretty high up. I seen that shot. That would have been something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all my people out there doing intentions currency, get it how you live. Please be safe though.
Absolutely.
Please be safe. And also just realize that just be safe. I'm not gonna stretch it.
Yeah.
Just please be safe. Polemic. We are at the end of another episode of The Lake of Takes.